we have a quorum. My name is Don Edwards, Chair of the Romeo Planning Commission. I'd like to call the meeting to order for January 2018. First order of business is a roll call. Would you do that, please?
Yep. Edwards.
Here.
Kuzmato. Fowler.
Yes.
Luther.
Yes.
Trent here. Trubovich. Grandstaff.
Yes.
Stegner.
Here.
And Webb. Okay.
Thank you. The next item is the approval of the minutes of our meeting on December 14th, at which time we tentatively approved a site plan review.
I make a motion we approve.
Motion to have a second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor of approving those, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item is the public forum. Is anyone here to bring up a subject that's not on the agenda tonight? None. Hearing none, I'll close that. We have two items on the agenda tonight. The first one, as I mentioned, was a site plan review that we had tabled until tonight's meeting. And Mr. Farrell has supplied us with a modified site plan. I see it now details where the sod will be on there. Was there any?
Sod landscape and
Okay.
irrigation system, as well as the parking lot.
Okay. I do see that. Do we have any questions regarding the additions to the site plan? Hearing no questions, I would entertain a motion to grant final approval to the site plan as presented.
I'll give you a motion.
I'll second.
Motion and second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, guys, I appreciate it.
I see you got the house turned.
The house is lifted.
Yeah, we see it.
Yeah.
It's up, yeah. It's up and
It's
it's
got
off the
Aubrey's
old
place.
foundation, so, yeah, so it'll be moving soon. We finally got DTE to cut the line. It took a month and a half of banging.
Okay.
So,
Good luck.
hopefully it'll be moved soon. Thank you, guys.
All right, the second item on our agenda is a lot split. I called Mike Lee to try to get a little background on this. Apparently this property was owned by the village of Romeo at some point and has now been sold. And as I understand it, the current owner wishes to split the property into 3 lots. Mike indicated when they first sold the property, due to an error in the, I think, Macomb County or Bruce Township identification, it appeared that there could only be 2 lots. But afterwards, they found out that the total distance being 189 feet, and since the lots have to be a minimum of 60 feet wide, there are now 3 lots. We have the Planning Commission before us. We simply have a land survey by a professional land surveyor. I had questions myself about the lot split, only because I see that we're taking some land from lot 22, but this survey doesn't show me where the north side of lot 22 is at. I don't know where it's at. I think according to the rules of the planning, the zoning, we could not take any action that would create a non-conforming lot. So should we decide tonight that the application to split the property is adequate, and that we want to recommend that split to the village trustees, which is where it'll go from here. I would expect us to have some language in that approval subject to the definition of lot 22 and what happens when the Bruce Township defines the rest of that property.
Did Mr. Lee indicate that the reason why this was held up? Because I guess there was a deposit. Did you guys put the deposit down, or?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. That was a deposit, and then there was some type of legal activity going on with the neighbors next door? I think the crafts are here.
I don't know what the neighbors were doing. We just, at some point, he just called us and said it was ready.
Well, as I said, our action to,
We have a lien on that property for the work we've done on it for over over 20, 25 years at
We
least.
kept it up. We were the caretakers of that property. Snow removal and grass.
Mhm.
And even when the village, before the village, when the people lost the property, nobody took care of the property. The property overflows onto my daughter's lot. And we put a burn up with some bushes to block the water. We've gone up to the village, we talked to them, this was over the last 20 years at least, and nobody did anything. Then the village buys the property, they don't contact us or anybody, and then they sell it to somebody that's out of town. And now we're stuck. All the work we've done, whoever's gonna build the, I had a discussion with the one guy, I don't know if this is the same person or not, but we put the bushes up to help block the water from flooding onto my daughter's property. And apparently, we're over her boundary. But what we're saying is, we maintain the property. I'm
The
talking
whole
about
property,
the
not
whole
just that, the
property.
whole
Cutting
lot.
the grass, doing the sidewalk, and all this stuff was done over the last 20 years. And then the village goes and sells the property, and now they want to split it
In the three.
into 3 lots.
Well, I think it's important that we understand what the planning commission's responsibility is.
What is that?
It is only to decide whether or not the lot split, as it's presented to us by a surveyor, meets the zoning requirements, that's all. We have no input as to what happened, how the land came to be owned by the village. We have no,
So is that something we need to take up with the village?
that would be the village, right. And this, whatever decision the planning commission makes tonight, it will be in the form of a recommendation to the village trustees. They ultimately have power to agree that this piece of property can be split the way it's presented. And they would be the ones that would have to address any concerns you have as a neighbor and as someone who has an interest in the property. That would have to be to the trustees.
But you guys can decide if it's gonna be 2 lots or 3 lots, right?
No, we can decide whether or not these 3 lots are conform to the ordinance. We don't get to have an opinion about whether we like it or dislike it.
So you're telling me
It's
that the village decided it was gonna be 3 lots instead of 2? Because our
No,
understanding was.
I think whoever either owns the property or thinks they own it, whatever that is, I think they decided to split it into 3 lots to maximize the value of it. And the zoning ordinance simply says a lot shall be at least 60 feet wide, and I'm not sure what the depth requirement is, but it's certainly less than what this is. So as long as those things are met, the planning commission is obligated to say, we don't see a reason it can't be done. That's, our hands are tied beyond that.
Okay.
And we had no input as to the value of it or how it came to be owned by the village. That all happened at the trustee level.
Okay, thank you.
Has anyone, after looking at this proposal, found anything that would cause us to question whether or not the lot splits are legal according to the zoning ordinance?
On the drawing, the north end existing residence says 12.8, 12 foot 8 inch between the property line
Yes.
and the house, or the existing residence there.
Mhm.
Is that within the legal limit? I thought it was more than 12 foot.
Well, that would be a side yard setback. And we can look that up. Because I don't know the number right off the top of my head. Single-family residential, area and height, 57. That's why I mentioned, another reason I mentioned when I started out, that if we do choose to approve and recommend the split, it's going to have to be subject to the definition of Lot 22. Because we can't create a small lot that's less than 60 feet. We can't take action that would cause that to happen. The minimum side yard is 9 feet.
Oh, 9, okay. On the drawing from the north parcel A line, there's a line going north on that, it says 60 foot. Now, I don't,
Right.
that F30085 is a found iron bar. So it's, I think it's saying to me that from that bar on lot 22, or parcel A, I'm sorry,
Mhm.
to the next one is 60 foot. I think they're giving you that
They are.
information.
That would be for the new parcel A.
Mhm.
And parcel B and parcel C will all be wide enough. But it also states in the definition on the next page that the south 30 feet of lot 22. Where is the rest of lot 22? That's my question. So you cannot, let's just assume, just for discussion purposes, that lot 22 is also 60 feet wide. And if you take 30 feet from it, then it goes to 30 feet wide, and that's a non-conforming lot.
So the
I don't know that.
residence to the north is part of lot 22, you're saying?
I don't know how it's defined. Again,
Because the lots are not right on the parcel lines.
No.
They're
No.
different.
Right.
So-
Oh, no, yeah, it shows existing.
Right.
Mhm.
So this,
So the village had it at 2 lots, 2.5 lots years ago. Maybe.
as I said, Mike just mentioned that after these transactions took place, they discovered that there was an error in the definition of the property. And after allowing for that, it allowed for 3 60-foot lots, 2 60s and 1 69.
Seems like lot 22 is on their property.
Yeah. So this is actually.
It just says part of lot and all of lot 24.
The only line that appears to be common is the south line of lot 24. That's common with the previous lot line. After that, and that's why the split is being proposed, I think,
Yeah,
is
this
that
one is right on the
combination
parcel.
of 24 and 23 and 24, along with part of 22, allows for 3 lots.
Which made sense.
I'll ask again, does anyone have a question or concern that would prevent us from recognizing this?
Do we need to see the full lot 22?
If we do not see it, we have to define our approval and make the final split subject to determining that lot 22 is still conforming. Actually, we could phrase it more general than that, and that would, in that case, it would say, planning commission could recommend the lot split be accepted, subject to the determination that there would be no non-conforming properties created as a result of the split.
Seems like that'd be pretty hard to do if lot 22 is on that residence
Yeah,
property.
one
right
thing I'm
there.
gonna ask Mike and Cindy to do in the future, and that is anytime this type of thing comes to the planning commission, they're gonna have to show us all the surrounding property.
Yeah.
And to the edge of the surrounding property, so that you have the full picture.
I have a question.
Sure.
So if you're not sure about lot 22, how can you approve 3 lots?
We can approve it subject to lot 22 not being non-conforming. So it's a conditional approval. Or it would be a conditional approval. You gentlemen represent the party that's asking for the split?
My only comment is regarding lot 22, the subject we're just talking about. The property to the north, I don't know what the lot number is on that. That lot is also similar to these here. In other words, there's split lot lines on that one also.
Mhm.
Part of lot 22 is on that lot. So 22 is about half split in half.
Mhm.
That house is on a 60-foot lot. I mean, that house is created on a 60-foot lot, part of which is lot 22.
Okay. Then
Just
I
so you
think-
know that. I wasn't sure if you understood whether
Well,
lot 22 was some giant lot going up
No,
to the
no,
end of the
no.
street.
No, I knew that, but
Okay.
I can't assume anything, or we can't assume anything.
Well, I
because
think
it's
doesn't
not-
he indicate, but when he says 60 foot here, he's indicating that house is conforming,
It is. It indicates that.
yeah.
But again, the ordinance simply states that we cannot take any action that will create a non-conforming
Okay,
entity. And if the people who describe the property and for the tax rolls and that type of thing can make the description conforming
okay,
with what's left, then there's no issue.
okay.
I guess my question, if I can ask, is you are opposed to a 3-lot split of that property? Or you are opposed for other reasons that you maintained and you feel you're entitled to something?
Both,
All right.
both of
The
those.
main reason we're here, it was the trees. I don't know if you've been down there to see that property.
Yes, I did.
Have you been in the spring when the water's like a lake and they got ducks flying in and all that?
No.
It's
I
like a
haven't.
lake.
It's more just.
And it's like a swamp. In the summertime, it's so bad, it stinks. And you can look in the records how many times I went to the village and asked for them to come fix this when Marion was there. And they
Okay.
didn't do anything about it.
Okay, but I guess my question is, you're saying you think 3 lots is too small?
Yes.
Right.
It's supposed to be 2, but for some reason, they wanted to make more money, like they said, so now they want to cramp everybody and make 3 for their profit. Well, what about our life that we live down there? They're not gonna live there, we are. They're making money and then leaving. I gotta stay down there, my daughters just built a house down there. You know, would you want that next to you? I mean, you gotta put yourself in our position.
I'm trying to determine if you felt you were owed something for all the things you had done,
Right.
or are you in fact not satisfied with 3 pieces of property?
Both. But right
All
now,
right.
it's the 3 property, because my daughter just built that new house there. It was terrible down there back then. We tried to make it livable, made it nice. We've talked to these gentlemen, or somebody else using that land, you know, and then when they found out it was 3, they want to get rid of the trees. They don't want to be neighborly. I mean, we tried to be neighborly with these people. They just looking for profit.
All right.
Any other questions?
At one time, weren't you in the crafts in negotiation of up to those trees? I mean, when you came to council, I think you guys had talked one time.
Well, the trees, where were,
You were gonna move them?
we told them they could take the shrubs anytime they wanted, and that's still standing.
Excuse me, this is getting into an area and a subject that has nothing to do with whether or not the lots get split. It really isn't. I mean,
Sorry,
those are questions that should go to the trustees.
Okay, yes.
And you being one, Zach, you can certainly fill everybody in on what's going on here. Again, our only decision tonight is whether or not the requests for the lot splits conform. We cannot address neighbors' concerns. Right now and forever, the village has said a lot shall be 60 feet wide. And there's most all the lots are 60 feet wide.
All right, I'll make a motion that we accept the revision as presented with the stipulation that it be verified that the existing lot north of lot 22 is a conforming lot.
And maybe we could add, and that there are no other nonconformances created as a result
All right.
of this split.
Okay, I have no problem with that.
Can you say that?
No other.
I didn't hear.
Can you say it one more time so I can write that down?
Oh, Lord.
I'm sorry, I know.
Make a motion to approve the division of the parcel in question into 3 lots, minimum 60 foot, with the stipulation that the property north of lot 22 is not a non-conforming piece of property.
Do you wanna say the lot north of 23?
22. It's the piece of property north of lot 22 that he's concerned is going to be,
Turn that to non-conforming?
yeah,
Gotcha. From the way they have it.
you got it?
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the request for lot split and send it to the village trustees for the final approval. And that the splits will occur as presented on this survey. And for the record,
We need a second, a vote though.
yeah, I just want to describe it.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
just want to make sure I include this in the motion.
Okay.
That, I'm trying to see what we're using for identification. It's for survey certificate platted and/or described on June the 1st, 2016. And that survey was signed by Richard A. Duthler, D-U-T-H-L-E-R. Do I have a second to the motion?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any more discussion? Again, I want to point out our only responsibility as the planning commission is to find whether or not the request for split conforms to the village ordinance. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed?
One.
Opposed, one opposed. Motion carries. That concludes our official business for tonight.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.